Well, everybody, welcome back to my little stitchy corner of the world. My name is Carly and here I am for my second floss tube. First off, I just want to say a absolutely massive thank you for everybody who has watched and subscribed and left me a comment. Honestly, I didn't expect anybody to really watch what I have to give, so that has been a little bit mind-blowing, if I'm going to be honest. So thank you everybody, huge, and it's so nice to make stitchy friends and connect with people that are like similar nerdy things. So yeah, welcome back. Things have been a bit topsy-turvy in the 60-minute stitcher world over the past few weeks, so stitching has not really been a major priority. But that being said, I have managed to do a little bit as a way to, I'm sure, like we all do, decompress and relax and unwind. So, again, no particular order. I know in my first video I had all these grand plans about, well, I'm going to do 500 stitches and then 1,000 or a week, or no, that did not last. Best laid plans and all of that jazz. So there has been more ad hoc stitching than routinized stitching over the past 4 weeks. So yeah, let's get into it. The box I have kind of in front of me right now is the first one I guess I'll show, which is the Owl Forest Embroidery Atlantis. So this is what it will look like when it's done. I thank you for everybody who left a comment, and there was a couple around the sound, so I will try my best to get better at being louder. And also, I probably should have proof watched the video before I posted it, because there was a few blurry bits, and I realised that when I was showing things, it was kind of like way back here. Wait, you're not seeing that really, are you? I can't see that. So you can't. So I will endeavour to be more skilled at, all the stuff. So anyway, this is Atlantis. And I think last time I said I didn't really like this. Oh, now I've got to find it again. Let me find it first and then I'll show you. This little amoeba thing here. Like everything else, just this little amoeba just doesn't look like it fits, in my opinion. So I was going to swap out this little dolphin maybe. I'm sorry if that's blurry, I hope it can focus for you. And pop it maybe here where the amoeba is, and maybe put some fish or something here. So we'll see how that goes with that. I probably should mention that it's March something. A lot of people do that in their videos. I'm not very good at chronicalizing my life. Maybe I'll get better at that for the next video. So yes, March something, floss tube number 2. First one is Atlantis. It's still on a Q-snap because I was stitching on it last night. Not a lot of progress, but a little bit. My trusty board, backboard. So I managed to finish off Mr. Squid in the middle there. I think that variegation in those flosses, oh, it's just beautiful. He doesn't really do it justice in the picture, but in real life, my goodness, I really like. It's really subtle on the skein of floss when you kind of separate the strands out, and when you stitch it up, you do get this really lovely variegation coming through. So I finished off Mr. Squid, popped in a couple of the little fishes. I like this little dude here, little jellyfish man, he's really cute. And then started stitching on the little plant vine thing. There's going to be a house under here. This is actually fairly quick to stitch up once you kind of get into it, because it's an even weave over 2, it's 2 over 2. Sometimes the counting escapes me. I think I said in my last video, counting, not a strong suit. So it gives me great feelings of anxiety having to count over 2 squares. But we persist and we try and we quadruple check every count. But yeah, that's really pretty. I really like this little. Oh, he's not a squid, is he? What is he? He's a jellyfish. Jeez, wheeze. He's a jellyfish with a little matching jellyfish needle minder that came with the kit. So yeah, I think I might carry on stitching on this. Once you kind of get into it, it's fairly easy. Not easy. It's a nice, quite relaxing stitch. Here's the back. I will do it. I will show my backs. So that was the first one. In fact, I have been still doing the pick it out of a jar thing. So my little boy picked that one for me to stitch on. I was really excited because I really wanted to stitch on that. This one, this Lizzie Kate is the next one I will show. This has been a bit of a, well, they've all been ad hoc stitches. Atlantis has been a bit of an evening stitch, but my job allows me sometimes to listen to meetings and things. So I find I listen better when my hands are busy. So sometimes I will kind of stitch as I'm listening, which is quite nice, or if I've got a break in work. So this has been, again, it's a bit like the Atlantis piece, it's words and such, so it's fairly quick to stitch up, but this is what it will look like when it's done. Dear Santa, I've been good. Again, I really like that verse. I'm hoping to finish this by Christmas so I can pop it up. I will, if I can, I know I said this last time as well about editing and pictures and such, put in some before pictures from the last one. This is where we got up to. Hope you can see that. I can't. So I managed to get the while and forget, and actually I was waiting for this green, Hunter Green it's called, Floss from Weeks Dye Works. So I have a little bit of stitchy haul to show, I guess, as well. So this is the new floss that came with it. Oh, Holly, sorry, apologies, Holly. I ordered that from 123 Stitch so I could continue to stitch on that. So that's a nice stitch as well, stitches up quite quickly. Some of these pieces, I said I do have a certain amount of delusional thoughts about. Oh yes, this 300,000 stitch piece, yeah, easily done an evening, not even a weekend. And sometimes it does surprise me how quick things like this do stitch up. Again, disclaimer, I have dogs. If you hear them barking or growling, my apologies. They did pretty well last time. One of them has just gone in for some minor surgery to have a mass removed from her neck, so she's currently hiding under the table resting, whilst my other dog is unfortunately separated from her so he doesn't lick the wound. So you may hear some whining because of the separation. Apologies for that. Next one I did was Family Pride. Sorry, Zips. So this was pulled actually pretty much straight after I filmed my first floss tube, the whip parade, and I think putting it into Goodreads on my iPad, because I like a pattern keeper, and it's very windy here where I am in Southport, so if you hear crashing and bashing, it's likely the wind. So yes, anyway, so Family Pride, I pulled this after the last whip parade, and I started to really enjoy stitching on this once I'd kind of got into the rhythm of being able to blow up the symbols on Goodreads. So this is what it will look like when it's done. This one may go away. I'm not sure yet. I might not finish this, but we will see. New little needle minder on there. A little octopus that says need more coffee, which is very true for me. I love myself a coffee. So last time I have some threads? No, I don't. This was kind of all empty stitching really. I've managed to fill in, I think everything, yeah, everything from the eye down. The nose, I'm just working on filling up the rest of Mama Lion's mouth, Lioness's mouth. And this here is the start of the Daddy Lion. Obviously you can very clearly see the page break there, where it's a pattern piece on 2 pieces of paper, so this is where the bottom half of the piece is. I am mindful of page lines, but I guess when it's been washed and ironed it shouldn't look too obvious, and I think that's why I've been keen to start pulling some of these stitches down like this, which again good reader's helpful for. Although, just like, oh, that's what that is, a little bit of thingy there. There you go. There's a bit of a thread on there. Just like with the counting, lining up paper patterns so that you get the right stitch in the right place also causes my brain anxiety. I don't like that, and so I will again quadruple and triple check, because there's nothing worse than, you know, getting a significant amount of stitches done and going, oh, I'm 1 stitch off, and that can be fudged. So yeah, that's family pride. This may be a fairly speedy video today. In fact, my videos might be speedy, I don't know. Again, I'm not very practiced at this, given this is my 2nd time of doing it, but who knows. Next piece is Make a Wish, Take a Bite. This was originally intended to be the 1,000 stitches and then swap out. I just haven't had the capacity to stitch on this, unfortunately, over the past few weeks. I did get about 750 stitches in since I last filmed. So there's probably about, I think it's about 6,500 at the Whip Parade. I think we're up to about 7. Oh no, maybe I got more than that then. I think we're on about 7,500 now. Yeah, so this is where we're up to. It's back in the Q-snap obviously because I was stitching on it. These bubbles are really hard to stitch because there's a lot of counting, and I'm doing this. Oh, I've not told you what I'm doing anything on really, have I? This is 2/1, 25 count, easy grid, and the black, it's really hard. I think I said in my first video, it's really hard to stitch. It gets quite tapestry-like stitching the 2/1 and 25 count, and these bubbles, there's a lot of travelling stitches and making sure that they kind of line up, which they don't in some places. So I've just stitched a black stitch, and then in Pattern Keeper I have then put a parking thread there, indicator, which sort of is going to tell me when I come back to it, like, oh no, why can't I stitch there, that there's a black stitch where another colour should be. But yeah, it's been tricky to kind of count around these bubbles, and I don't want to travel my threads too much so that the back gets really dense. So I'll show you the back now. So this is the back, you can see. So I've been trying really hard to stitch in kind of in the shape, if that makes sense, so that I've not got a lot of carrying threads. So when it does come to doing the internal bits and the fill-in colour, there is free fabric to stitch on. And then the other bit I did was just fill in some of this black. This is quite nice. This is, rose. It's quite a chunky stitch there, so that's quite good. I'll show you what that's going to look like now. That's Make a Wish, Take a Bite, artwork by Mandy Manzano. It's a Heaven and Earth design. VPDF. This is what she will look like when she's done. Is that focusing? Oh, you get a ring light there. Ooh, gosh, that's a bit snazzy, isn't it? Look at that. Glare. Sorry, that's probably the best I can do. Next time I will make sure that I get the paper copy of that one out. So yeah, she's big. She's 300,000 odd stitches, 200,000 of which are all in black. I think someone left a comment about stitching all black on white. Yeah, I know. I'm a glutton for punishment, what can I say? Lizzie Kate, Dear Santa, that's being stitched on Vintage Country Mocha. I can never get my mouth around that one. And that is, I think that is a 28 count, 2/2. Yeah. And then the Family Pride is just kit fabric, kit floss. That's, I think it's a 14 count kit fabric, kit floss for that one. I've done a little bit more on Love Is. So this is a stitch that I'm doing whilst my little boy is still young and doesn't mind being made things and doesn't really know about that yet. Bothy threads, an orangutan mummy cuddling baby. This is 14 count kit everything. So I've actually, again, this one's on Goodreads now, which is a lot easier because there is a lot of this orange colour. Still, I've got a piece of my needle here. Yeah, there's a lot of this orange colour that's basically the body of the orangutan. That's the main kind of colour. So I'm trying to stitch that first as best I can, and then the rest of it is block around that orange. But yeah, I'm kind of stitching it in rows because it lends itself to that at the moment anyway, where I'm stitching on. So I'm in sort of the arm area here, and it lends itself to row stitching, which is quite nice. Yeah, so that's quite a therapeutic stitch, that one, when I'm not trying to count and getting anxious about counting. But I think that's going to be cute when it's done. And then, what else did I stitch? Oh yes, there was a little growl. Excuse me. So this one is it's a new start. Iro, sorry. We have a shop by us and he is quite reactive when he hears dogs barking. So we've got one dog that likes the TV and, you know, a train could be going past or a piece of fluff, and that will cause her to be very excited. And then another dog that likes the sound of other things barking, so will bark at, you know, the dogs that he can hear. It's never a dull moment in the 60-minute Stitcher household. That's not right. What did I want to show you? So the next bit I started was a soda stitch bottle. Unfortunately, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. It's a Cancer, the star sign Cancer bottle, constellation in a bottle from Soda Stitch, I bought on Etsy. But it hasn't got the back stitching on there, so it just looks blobby and, oh, you can see my protein shaker in the reflection there. It just looks kind of blobby and undefined. Again, like with most of the pieces that I'm sure we all stitch, the back stitching does make the piece. And unfortunately, there isn't a picture of the, there isn't a picture of it finished, unfortunately, I'm afraid, on my, what is that called? Kindle. Oh God, words escape me today. So this is where I'm up to. Again, a lot of black. Seem to be favouring black stitching at the moment. So this is on a piece of 14 count job locked Ada that I got a couple of years ago. It's opalescent. I thought I'd like the stars. And I'm actually doing this 3/1 for the black because of the coverage. I am a puffy coverage kind of girl. I like it to be really full. I don't like seeing white in my work. I don't know what that is, but it does, yeah, it makes me more happy seeing the coverage of 3/1. Again, it is kind of chunky, but I can deal with that. I can deal with 2/1 on 25 count. I can deal with 3/1 and 14. And then a new little needle minder there, constellation in a bottle. Don't think it's anyone in particular, but I thought that was really cute, fitting. Let's go with my bottle constellation again. A little bit on that. I think it was about 500 stitches on there. My cone of doom is in there. And the last piece I have worked on. So I realised I made a bit of an error when I told you what this was and where it came from. So this is the temperature piece that I've been working on. It's actually from somewhere called Teeny Weeny X Stitch. I think I said it was from the Witchy Stitcher, which is my error. It's not. It's from the Teeny Weeny X Stitch, and it will look like this when it's done. I'm really sorry. I need to practice at getting things to focus and ring lights and positioning. I will do that, I promise. So this is a magic potion temperature cell with little doodads, you know, for the seasons. There's a little pumpkin in October, little candy canes and things in December, birds and snowflakes and things. So I definitely have overthought this 100%, which is not unlike me at all. That is very like me. I overthink pretty much everything. In fact, one of the badges on my work lanyard says overthinker. So I really wanted to capture the highs and the lows of the climate that I live in, and because I live on a coast and I live in England, one, it rains a lot, two, the temperatures are really very average and quite uniform, and I just thought if I'm going to do a temperature cell, then it's just all pretty much, with the exception of some degrees of variation, fairly similar, which you'll see when you look at when I show it in a minute, that it will kind of all be very uniform. So they gave ideas about tightening up the temperature ranges so you'd get, you know, more colour depending, you know, with very small changes in the temperature you'd actually get to flip the colour. But the way it's designed is to do the whole bottle in one temperature range. So like a lot of people, I went onto the Facebook page because I was fretting about starting it, because I was overthinking it, because that is what I do, and a lot of people have just done that average for the day and stitched it for the day. Every bottle is just the average for the day. Now I really wanted to get the high and the low, so I racked my brains about how I did that, how I could do that, and sort of came up with a loose, well, I say loose, it took me maybe 10 or 11 days of kind of thinking and overthinking and doing temperature ranges to come up with a bit of a, I think, a workable plan, so that I get a kind of get to use a full scope of colours with a decent range and capture the highs and lows. Go me. So I'll show it you first, and then that might be easy. Ooh, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of cascade failure. The other one is really slow. It's like melting zip bag down here. There's quite a lot of background stitching in this piece because of the shelves and the little gubbins-y doodaddy thingies, and then obviously the potion bottles. So some of them are held in like little stands. So let me show you, and then I know I said I don't like parking, and I really don't, because I'm, you know, some of the temperatures are carried across, like there'll be a day break and then the same temperature. So I'm trying really hard to keep the threads going, but it's causing brain ache for me, and minor fine motor skill, that's the one I'm looking for. Fine motor skill fumbling, unfortunately. So this is where we're at the moment. So I've done all the shelves. I've got a little bit completionist about these shelves because there's 180 stitches across on these 2 rows of that. So I just got very, you know, routine about just stitching the shelves. Part of me really wants a frame around it as well. The other part of me is like, just don't give yourself more work. So we've got January, February, I don't know what it is about February, it's just causing me eyeball anxiety to do it. And then March I'm pretty much kind of keeping up to date with for the most part, which is good. So as you can see, so what I've done for, well, my plan is for January, February, March, and then October, November, December, is to the outside of the bottle, I'm doing the low temperatures in the low colours, and then the inside of the bottle, I'm doing the high temperatures in the temperature range, just to give that contrast. And it also allows me to use the full range, which is quite nice. So here, for example, on this day, the low temperature was -3 and below, which allowed me to use, and the pattern called for the darkest colours, the darkest colours to be used there. And then the next day, it was -3 and below again, but the outside of the bottle called for the lighter colours to be used for the low, which was nice. And actually, I swapped these around so that I could get this using the darker colours, if that makes sense. And the inside of the bottles are the, you know, the warmest range of the day. Now, again, in you know, true me fashion, I've also got two weather apps, because yeah, some of them, most of the time they track, but sometimes the temperatures are wildly different. Like they'll say the low is 1 degree on one weather app, and then on the other one it's the low was like 9. So what I'm doing is averaging it if there is such a big disparity between the two temperatures. I figure, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, which grates on me, but you know, it's just to capture that really. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing the lows for the day in the cold months as the outside of the bottles, and the highs the inside. And then the warm months, I'm going to do the high temperatures as being the outside of the bottle, and then the low temperatures as being the inside. And I'm hoping that is going to allow me to use the full range of colours that I've chosen. And then outlining part of my haul, I bought some Etoile floss, because I bought the Cosmo floss and it was very similar to this blue, the lighter blue here. I think it's 905 maybe, which wouldn't have stood out because I'm going to backstitch all the bottles just to give them definition, because if you see sort of here, there is very little ability to tell where one bottle ends and the other one begins. So the backstitch just allows that definition. So I bought some Etoile, and again, I go big or go home, and I like to, if I have an idea, I tend to do the whole thing. So when I first got back into stitching, I bought a master set of DMC, fairly cheap actually. It was off buy, sell and swap, but it came in all these bags on skeins and not bobbinated, and I spent weeks bobbinating. Oh gosh, my brain does cause me some stress sometimes. So I bought a full set of Etoile because I figured I was going to buy a couple, and then with postage and packaging, and if I liked it then I'll probably want more, so why not buy the whole thing? And that is what I did. So I'm outlining all the days that it rained in the blue, like the lightest blue. I don't know if you can see the sparkle there. You might be able to. I'm outlining key dates, so obviously like the first of the month here, which you can't see because it's under the gooseneck, is in sort of this yellowy gold. Birthdays, that sort of thing, they're going to go in gold. And then the rest of them are going to be outlined in the darkest grey, 37.99 I think it is, maybe. And then with some, yeah. So that's where it's going to be. That's how it's going to look. And actually I really quite like the way it looks when it's outlined. It looks really pretty. So the temperature ranges, if anybody would like to know what the temperature ranges that I've used are, please feel free to leave me a comment down below, and I will, and I will post, you know, a picture or a written copy of this. And then sorry, crinkling, I have got this in a little job lot thing again many years ago, and it is just the perfect travel size for all the colours I'm using for this piece. So I just lashed them all in here and it just fits really nice. Isn't that cute? Pretty. I thought it was a fairly good range. I'm not happy with some, like these two I might swap out when I get there, and then this red range here, I'm not so happy with the low colour on there, but you know, it's a work in progress, trial and error. Gotta figure out what we like, don't we? And yeah, that's it really, apart from, you know, the stitchy haul that I've got, one of which is over there, so I shall be right back. Have fun looking at my seat for a second. And she's back. So I found this at a charity shop. I love a good charity shop, and so does my son. It's like we love a little Saturday Subway and charity shop date. So I bought this a couple of weeks back. My best friend just had a baby, a little boy, and I made her little girl a cross stitch, and her and her husband love it. And I thought, well, they've had another baby, so you know, they need another little piece. Now, my best friend's husband, my other friend, he loves everything plains. So I figure, well, this would be lovely. And rather than flying here, I'm going to put baby's name. And then I don't know about the kites. I'm not sure I like the kites, and I'm not sure I like the colours. It's quite vintage book, this. I think it's from, gosh, $15.99 this cost when it was first new. Got it from £1. Bargain. What a bargain. When is it from? I don't know. Maybe January 2000? No, surely not 2007. That does not look like somebody who's from 2007. That looks like from the early 90s, maybe. Late 80s. Regardless, I bought this for £1, and I thought, yeah, I'll stitch that. Gosh, it looks like it's going to be quite big, doesn't it? I'll probably change the colours up of the hot air balloon. Not so much of like the warplanes, because they're, you know, quite standard colours, but I might change the colour up of the hot air balloon. I might omit this kite border, because borders, you know, if you don't have to stitch it and it's not going to add or detract, do we really want to give ourselves more effort? Then I'm going to put a little quote from one of the husband's favourite shows there, which will be in keeping with the baby's name. So there's that. And then these are little stitchy bits I bought were, I don't know if anybody has watched Bob Ross, but he is just the most, or was, the most gentle-souled painter that ever existed. And I used to love watching, just in paint, happy little trees for half an hour in the morning. And I found this in a shop called it's not, TK Maxx. I think in America you might have a TJ Maxx, but this was in TK Maxx for like a tenner, and I just thought, it's just 12 happy little cross stitch patterns. Can you say no? And there's a little picture in the back. So the kit allows you to do two of the patterns, but obviously, you know, I have all the things, so I was going to do a couple of them. I really like sometimes you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your masterpieces, so I was going to stitch that. If you learn from it, it's not a failure. And then I really like this one. Let's go crazy, what the heck? Because he, you know, he loves his big brush, his number 2 brush, to make his big trees, bold mountains, you know. So yeah, anything you don't like, turn it into a happy little tree. So yeah, that's just a little, you know, like I need more stitching to do. So I just thought they were cute. And then the last thing I got was the full range. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera again. I'm a little bit out of sorts, so my apologies. I bought the Etoile pack of all the colours. It's actually not so, I didn't find it too tragic to stitch with, really. Not as much as the Krynic. I don't know what it is about the Krynic. It just, yeah, well, we all know adventures in Krynic, don't we? But yeah, it wasn't too bad. Maybe it's only because I'm outlining that it's not absolutely, you know, horrendous, but we may stitch with that in the future, who knows. And I think that is my merry little lot, I think. So yeah, I just want to say again, thank you to everybody who's stopped by, left me a lovely comment, left me a thumbs up, subscribed. Honestly, it's really mind-blowing that it's that. And I just wanted to sort of thank, there's been a few people who gave me shout outs over the past, you know, couple of weeks, which I think has definitely helped, because you lovely people watch other lovely people and have wound up with me as well. So, you know, Alara, thank you very much. And the 20-minute stitcher, feeling you on the name, I only get about an hour to stitch, hence the 60-minute stitcher. So, you know, maybe she only gets 20 minutes to stitch, who knows. Cal stitches. So yeah, it's been a journey already. So thank you so much for stopping by. Have lovely days. Hope you will find something lovely to stitch on and something nice to think about in your day. I will see you hopefully in a few weeks, and yeah, thanks for stopping by. Be safe, everybody, and have a great day. Make yourself some happy little trees. Thank you.